Here are 11 pieces of advice for a freshman in college. My name is Anthony Gross. I'm a senior at WashU in St. Louis, and I have probably experienced every single up and down imaginable in college. And I've kept note of this stuff, and I wish I knew this stuff coming into college. And I want to preface that while all 11 of these are great, number 11 may be the most important one that could transform your life today. So if you get value from this video, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and let's get right into it. Number 1, my first piece of advice is don't strive to fit in. My friend asked me this question the other day. He's like, if you had one piece of advice for a college freshman, what would it be? And when I was thinking, I'd think back to high school, freshman year, sophomore year. And then I think to college, freshman year and sophomore year. All I cared about at that time was I need to fit in. I need to please people. I don't want people to think I'm weird. I don't want to be embarrassed. And essentially what this does is it made me isolate all these goals and dreams I had. And it made me push it to the side. And then as I go through college and I get to junior and senior year, I'd realize that nobody actually cares. It doesn't matter. Do you? And I'd live those last 2 years to my fullest. I would go all in. For example, in college, that was building content. And that was starting a personal brand. And now we're at over 60,000 people. I didn't start that at the beginning. I couldn't sustain that because I was so concerned of what other people thought about me. And then I got to my breaking point after getting comfortable and saying, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And if they do care, let them care. Because someday you're going to move on down the road, 5, 10 years, 2 years, and you're not even going to talk to these people anymore. So don't let yourself be constrained in the first 1, 2, 3 years of college. If you have goals, if you want to go all in on them, do it. Even if that's going to get some pushback, go ahead and do it. Number 2, college is not as hard as you think. When I came into WashU, I was thinking, oh my God, school is going to be so hard. How am I going to do this as a student athlete? How am I going to have a social life? How am I going to be able to go to class? How am I going to be able to get good grades? And then I found out freshman year that, college is just college. It's not rocket science. I think we paint this big picture of what we think it's going to be. And then when we get here, we realize that it's pretty manageable. And the other piece of advice for this is people are not as smart as you make them out to be. And you are a lot smarter than you think you are. So don't go in there with imposter syndrome thinking you're not going to be able to do it. And everybody else is so much smarter because they're not. And they are actually thinking the exact same thing. Number 3, I hear this from every single kid I talk to, every single freshman I talk to, is they tell me that their first semester sucks. They're miserable. All they want to do is go back home. Give yourself time to acclimate. I was the exact same way. When I came in the first couple months freshman year, I was miserable. I was homesick. I missed my girlfriend. I missed my friends from back home. And I thought it was the end of the world. But that's just part of the process because it's such a novel experience and you're not prepared for anything. But that will get better as you go on, I promise you. So when you're sitting in the hallway of your dorm freshman year on the phone with your parents talking about how much you hate this, how miserable you are, how much you want to come home, trust. Give yourself time to acclimate. And I promise you, it's going to get better and better every single day. Number 4, do not let your friends pigeonhole you. When I came into college, I came in as a student athlete on the baseball team. So this was my group of guys. I hung out with these guys all the time. We get every single meal together. We'd have classes together. These were the only people I hung out with. After my freshman year, I realized that I could probably count on my hand and there was 4 kids I knew outside of the baseball team. And I told myself, I need to go out and start meeting other people. And so to meet other people, I ended up rushing and joining a fraternity. The guys on the baseball team gave me a lot of pushback for doing that. They'd always make little jokes and kind of passive aggressive marks and backhand compliments and stuff like that because I was doing something out of the ordinary. There was nobody else on the team that did this. And no matter if they wish they did it or whatever, when you start to deviate from a friend group, not even deviate, but open yourself up to other people and your original friend group's not doing that, you're going to get pushback. But do not let that steer you away from expanding and meeting other people. Because one of the best things about college, in my opinion, it's not the degree you're going to get, but it's the people and the relationships you're going to meet there. Do not let your friends pigeonhole you. Number 5, give every single person a chance. Screw the whole notion of popularity. Like, get rid of that out of your head. I know coming in from high school, everything's about popularity and the cool kids hang out with each other. You don't hang out with the non-cool kids. Get rid of that in college. And it took me a while to understand that. And I'm not saying I'm the most popular kid, but it was study abroad. And it was just a brand new opportunity. I came in to study abroad. And there was people that I studied abroad with that I never met once at WashU. Never met once. They didn't hang out with my friend groups. We didn't have the same interests, but study abroad, you don't know many people. So I'd go and I'd hang out with these kids and I'd talk to them. And I realized that they're actually pretty freaking cool. You don't have to be best friends with every single person, but give everybody a chance because you never know what you may learn from that relationship or where it could take you. Number 6, I get this question all the time in my DMs. Do every single internship or job as you possibly can. Do not worry about perfecting your internship and getting the Goldman Sachs or the BCG or whatever it is. If you get that, kudos to you. If you don't, it does not matter. Every single internship or job experience that you can have is going to teach you something, even if you freaking hate it. I had 2 internship experiences in my life where I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It had nothing to do with the company. They were fantastic companies, but the type of work was not something that drove me. And I would sit there in the internship and I'd say, dude, I'm wasting my time. All these other kids are working in these big cities, doing great things, and I'm sitting here and I don't like it. Well, it turns out after that internship ended, number 1, I learned a lot of skills, like very good skills to have. But number 2, the motivation for me to go out and find something that I like doing after that was priceless. Because in college, what you end up doing is you end up trying to get into the same industries and jobs as a lot of people at your school, whatever they're doing. But that doesn't mean that's the right career path for you. And you will truly know that when you sit in an internship or a job where you're miserable in. And then it'll say, boom, you know what? I don't need to do what everybody else is doing. I don't even care if it's a lower paying job. I'm going to do what I want to do because it fires me up. And in the long run, it is going to pay dividends for the rest of your life. Number 7, this goes hand in hand with the previous one, but make sure you study something you enjoy. It's so easy to get trapped in to thinking you have to have a certain major because that's what's going to get you the best job. And if you don't have that major, they're never going to hire you. When I started recruiting for consulting my sophomore year, I was studying finance because I thought that was the most respected major and that's what these consulting companies were going to like. I didn't end up getting the internship, but the girl that got the internship over me, or one of them, do you know what she was studying? She wasn't studying finance. She wasn't studying economics. She wasn't studying engineering. She was studying art history. It does not matter what you study in college. What matters is probably your network and the connections, how you present yourself in your interview, if you can talk the talk, all that stuff matters. But at the end of the day, your major is not going to make or break a job position for you. And you are going to be much happier if you show up to class every single day studying something you enjoy than something that you're just miserable about. I wish I knew this at the start of college. Utilize your career center. When I came in, I said, I don't need that. I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm going to do everything myself. And then I was wrong because I didn't know the game. There's a game to networking. There's a game to finding a job. It has everything to do with how you craft an email, with how you follow up with people, how you talk the talk on an interview, how you prepare for an interview. If there's a case, if there's a technical, your career center has the golden ticket to all of that stuff. I spent so much time with my career center and my career coach that sophomore year when I was prepping for consulting. And even though that I didn't get the job, everything that I learned with how to network and communicate and talk the talk in an interview has opened so many more doors for me after. Don't think you know everything because like me, you probably don't. Use that career coach and career center and they will set you up for success. Next one. Everybody says that you don't want to find your wife in a bar, yada, yada, yada. Friendships can be made from going out. I have made a lot of friendships from going out, from enjoying myself, from partying and drinking. And I'm not saying the friendship's only based on that. But in a situation like that, everybody's a little bit more outgoing. If you're drinking, your guard's down, you're willing to talk. And at the core, what that stuff does is it allows you or that person to introduce yourselves to each other. And so it's a start to develop a greater friendship. And I bring up this point, it's because at the start of college, I told myself that I'm not going to go out a lot because I want to be disciplined and I want to stay in and I want to work hard, which built fantastic habits for me. And I'm never going to complain about that. But a lot of the time, I want to stay disciplined. I didn't have a worthwhile goal. I wasn't building a podcast. I wasn't building a personal brand. I wasn't doing this and that. I just stayed in to stay in. And I feel like I missed out on some of the stuff that I could have done. And even when you get a worthwhile goal, like for example, me this semester, I've stayed in a lot more because it fires me up every single day what I'm doing. And I want to put my best effort forward with stuff like this and stuff with my content. But I truly believe that going out once in a while or having fun in moderation, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's something that senior year at the last 4 weeks of the semester, now I'm starting to pick up. And last but not least, I promised you that this would be the most important one. So listen carefully for this. A lot can change in a year. Your entire world could flip upside down in 1 year. In college, all in the span of a year, I quit college baseball. I joined a fraternity. My long distance relationship ended. I switched into the business school, which I thought was never going to happen. It was going to be impossible. I studied abroad twice, and I moved in with a different group of guys, all in the span of 1 year. And so the moral of the story is, if you don't like the way that things are right now, you have total power and control to change those things. Just start walking towards it and start doing it. And put your head up and tell yourself two things. The future's going to look bright, and believe foolishly. Keep believing foolishly. Be naive for what the future could hold. And I promise you, things will start to turn around. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Somewhere on the screen should direct you to somewhere else in our channel. But as always, believe foolishly.